I accidentally slipped and fell, only to unexpectedly see that I would die in a car accident half an hour later. After my death, my daughter happily held my husband and best friend's hands, saying, "Mom and Dad, our family is finally reunited. It's great that the bitch is dead, all her assets are ours now." Oh my God, someone tell me, is this really what will happen after I die? My daughter isn't biologically mine, but the child of my husband and my best friend? Thank heavens for letting me see my future in advance. I swear I'll not only find my real daughter but also send this disgusting trio straight to hell. Evelyn, come to the school quickly. Fiona suddenly fainted for no apparent reason. How could this happen? My heart nearly leapt out of my chest upon receiving the call from my daughter's teacher. "Teacher, I'll head to the school immediately." I rushed to the garage in a panic, only to suddenly twist my ankle. My head hit the ground hard, the pain making me dizzy. In an instant, countless unfamiliar images flooded my mind. I saw myself driving frantically toward the school. But halfway there, the brakes failed. My car collided head-on with a large truck, killing me instantly. My husband Aaron and daughter Fiona were crying bitterly, while my best friend Sherry even fainted from grief over me. Just as I was overwhelmed with sorrow, the scene suddenly shifted. I saw my husband and best friend embracing each other intimately. I was completely stunned. "Mommy, Daddy, where are you?" Hearing my daughter's call, I worried how heartbroken she would be to witness this filthy scene. Yet to my surprise, after entering the room, my daughter hugged them both and said happily, "Mommy, Daddy, our family is finally reunited. I never have to call that dead bitch Mommy again, she wasn't my real mother anyway." The daughter said to Sherry again, "Mom, it's great that the bitch is dead. Everything in this house belongs to us now." What? They're the real family? My daughter isn't my biological child? What on earth is going on? Did I carry a fake pregnancy back then and give birth to a fake daughter? Impossible. The morning sickness, the constant fatigue, the swollen body, all those prenatal checkups, they were my real experiences, they couldn't have been fake. If Fiona isn't my biological daughter, then where is my real daughter? I sank into memories. Back then, my belly was already very big, and I wasn't supposed to move around much, but that day Aaron insisted I go back to his hometown with him. At his hometown, I was startled by a cat that suddenly darted out, causing my water to break. Aaron rushed me to the hospital where I endured long hours of labor before finally giving birth. After the doctor informed me I'd delivered a daughter, I collapsed into exhausted sleep. I was certain I'd truly given birth to a girl. Yet when I awoke after sleeping a full day and night, I realized Aaron could have easily switched my baby daughter during that time. I still remember waking to find Sherry by my bedside. At the time, I was puzzled by her sudden return to the country and how drastically she'd gained weight. When I was just pregnant, Sherry suddenly said she had fallen in love with a foreigner and would marry no one else, then flew abroad. I asked her what happened. She said she had been dumped by that man, and after the breakup, she overate and gained weight. Upon learning that I had given birth, she immediately flew back. She said she no longer believed in men and wanted to be a mother to my daughter. At the time, I didn't suspect at all that she was lying. My daughter cried and fussed relentlessly in my arms, but in Sherry's arms, she was always quiet. I joked that they were the real mother and daughter. She and Aaron both smiled without saying a word. It seems that back then, I was just a fool being completely deceived in their eyes. Sherry definitely didn't go abroad back then, she was hiding to have the baby. In order to successfully swap my child, Aaron deliberately insisted on taking me back to our hometown so they could carry out their wicked plan. Otherwise, if I had stayed at home, my family would have surely come to accompany me during childbirth, and they wouldn't have been able to swap the baby. I treated Fiona like my heart's treasure, giving her the best material life and educational resources. But what about my own biological daughter? Is she still alive? Is she getting enough to eat? Is she dressed warmly? What I want to know most right now is, where exactly is my biological daughter? I collapsed onto the sofa and wept bitterly. When my tears had run dry, Fiona's voice came from outside the house. Mom, why didn't you come see me at school when I fainted? Are you still mad at me? Go to what school? Go to my death? I sent my most trusted assistant, Wendy, to secretly check the situation at school for me. Wendy told me she saw Fiona alive and kicking, with Aaron and Sherry right by her side. She came in with Aaron and Sherry, who must be furious inside. How could I not have driven out and gotten myself killed in a car accident? Sherry walked up to me. Evelyn, I've already talked to Fiona. She's promised never to bully the new classmates again. These past few days, because you've been ignoring her, she's been so guilt-ridden she couldn't eat, and that's why she fainted in class. A few days ago, I had already gone to the school because Fiona was bullying the new student. Flaunting her family's wealth, she took the initiative to torment the new kid, beating them until their teeth fell out. I went to the school to apologize and paid a hefty medical bill before the other parents agreed to drop the matter. I was very disappointed with Fiona's behavior and made her kneel for 2 hours as punishment. However, instead of reflecting on her actions, she accused me of not loving her. I criticized her in front of so many people, causing her to lose face, and she said she doesn't want me as her mother anymore. Her words made me so angry that I felt dizzy and lightheaded. I slapped her and declared that I don't want her as my daughter anymore. I even threatened that, even if I were to donate all my assets, I wouldn't leave her a single penny. Fiona ran out crying, and Aaron, worried about her, followed closely behind. Aaron later told me that Fiona went to find Sherry and suggested that we all take a few days to calm down and give each other some space. I confided in Sherry, admitting that I regretted speaking so harshly to Fiona and explained that my strictness came from a place of deep love. Sherry said she understood my good intentions and promised to help persuade Fiona. Now I finally realize how ridiculous I was. These past few days, their family of 3 must have been living in perfect harmony, probably grateful to me for creating this reunion opportunity for them. An hour ago, I called 2 private investigators separately, one to investigate Aaron and Sherry's activities for me. The other one was to investigate what exactly happened on the day I gave birth 12 years ago. Where is my biological daughter? Before long, the first investigator sent me several photos. There were pictures of their happy family of 3 at the amusement park, visiting art exhibitions, and even one with Fiona wrapping her arms around both their necks as they each kissed her cheeks. What a blissful family of 3. Fiona, Mommy isn't angry with you. It's just that I hurt my forehead and ankle in a fall, which is why I couldn't come see you at school right away. I turned around to show the injuries on my forehead and leg. Aaron immediately looked heartbroken. Honey, how did you get hurt? Is it serious? Why didn't you tell me? Does it still hurt? Let's go to the hospital. Darling, I'm fine now. I called the family doctor, who prescribed some medicine and told me to get plenty of rest. That term of endearment, I had to force down my nausea to say it. When I heard Fiona had fainted, I panicked and rushed to the garage. But I twisted my foot and fell flat on the ground. If the housekeeper hadn't still been there, I'd probably still be lying in the garage right now. I used to think Fiona didn't look like me but resembled Aaron, but now looking closely at their family of 3, I realized how much Fiona's eyes and mouth resemble Sherry's. Fiona, Mom didn't intentionally skip school events. Can you forgive me? I saw her indifferent face hesitate for a second or two before transforming into an expression of concern for me. Actually, Mom, it's all my fault. If I hadn't fainted, you wouldn't have fallen. I'm glad you can forgive me. I stroked her head, wanting nothing more than to strangle her, but having to carefully control my touch. Honey, starting tomorrow, I want you to drive me to and from work. I refuse to believe anything could happen to me if we're in the same car. Aaron was taken aback. What, you don't want to? I frowned slightly. How could I not want to? I'd go through fire and water for my wife. Aaron added, but you're still injured. You should rest at home for a few more days before returning to work. It's okay, honey. Besides, there's a big order recently that I really can't miss. You're the husband who loves me most in the world, so you'll definitely support me, right? Of course, you're my most beloved wife. I deliberately collapsed into Aaron's arms, stealing a glance at Sherry's expression. Sure enough, I caught a hint of jealousy in her eyes. It's almost dinner time. Sherry, why don't you stay and eat with us? Okay. At the dinner table, Sherry kept putting food on Fiona's plate. Only then did I realize how similar their tastes were. I really wanted to slap myself twice, furious at how stupid I'd been in the past. The next day, Aaron dropped me off at my company on time before heading to his own workplace. He held no position at my company. When I insisted on marrying this poor guy back then, my relatives strongly opposed it. Aaron stated that marrying me wasn't about material gains. It was only after he signed the prenuptial agreement himself and promised not to work at my company that my relatives reluctantly consented to our marriage. Aaron frequently drove me to and from work, surprising me with thoughtful gestures. Everyone at the company envied me for having such a wonderful husband. Even I was fooled by his act for so many years, believing he loved only me. After the morning meeting, I received a call from the second private investigator. My money was indeed well spent. In just one night, the detective had gathered enough evidence to drive me to the brink of murderous rage. My biological daughter was sold to a backward mountain region by Aaron's mother. She was sallow and emaciated, dressed in tattered clothes, doing all the laundry and cooking. She was also dragged by the ear and beaten with sticks by her adoptive mother. She had no room of her own, forced to sleep in the pig pen. While I raised Fiona like a princess, my own flesh and blood was living through hell. My heart was torn apart with agony, the pain so intense I could barely breathe. How I longed to rush into that photograph to rescue my daughter. I refused to believe Aaron didn't know the truth about her condition. Yet he did nothing, proving his heart was cold enough. In that case, I have no reason to show mercy. I will surely drag all 3 of his family members down to hell. I suspect there must be many more women and children in the mountainous areas who were trafficked there. I hired a private detective to gather evidence and rescue more people. I couldn't be the one to report it to the police. If the rescue succeeded, journalists would inevitably want to interview the person who filed the report, and I couldn't let that scumbag man and wretched woman find out. I already knew about their scheme. For several days in a row, the household enjoyed harmonious and loving days. One evening, after having dinner with the 3 of them, we watched the news on TV together. The news reported that the police had infiltrated a certain mountainous area, arrested many traffickers, and rescued numerous abducted women and children. When I saw this news, my heart surged with wild joy. My daughter had finally been rescued. I secretly glanced at Aaron and Sherry's expressions. Both were staring at the TV with their eyes nearly popping out of their heads. The news report also showed photos of the rescued abducted children, with the police stating that parents of missing children could go to the station to verify and claim them. Among them was a photo of my daughter. Feigning surprise, I exclaimed loudly, "Honey, look. This child looks just like I did when I was little. Let's adopt her." "No way." The trio responded in perfect, synchronized opposition. I pretended to look confused. "Why? This child is so pitiful. It's not like our family can't afford to raise her." Besides, I felt an inexplicable sense of familiarity the moment I saw her. I really want to adopt her. "Mom, I don't want to share your love with anyone." Fiona rushed toward me, on the verge of tears with grievance. "Evelyn, don't be foolish. A child not your own will never truly bond with you." Sherry quickly tried to dissuade me. She added, "This child has been raised in the mountains for so many years. She must have picked up many bad habits, maybe even carries germs. If Fiona gets infected, you'll regret it deeply." "That's right," Aaron echoed Sherry's words. "What if that girl already has her own parents? How could you adopt her?" Perhaps, as Sherry said, my biological daughter had many problems, even carrying numerous germs, but who caused all this? It was that despicable man and this wretched woman who harmed her. My poor daughter, she should have grown up happily like a princess. Suppressing the fury in my heart, I said, "You're right, but I genuinely like this child. Honey, could you look into this girl's background? If her family is struggling, I'd like to sponsor her education." My wife is truly kind-hearted, don't worry. I'll contact this girl's family as soon as possible. I nodded and pretended to remember something else. There's an important email I need to deal with. I'll go back to my room first. At the stairway, I turned back and added, honey, the dealership called saying my car needs servicing, but my injury hasn't fully healed yet, I can't drive. Tomorrow I'll have them come pick up the car from our place. No need, I'll drive it over myself. No point making them come all the way here specially. Look how nervous he is, his face has completely changed. Of course he's nervous. If the car shop finds out the brakes are faulty, they'll surely report it honestly to me. Aaron's afraid I'll grow suspicious, so he must have someone fix the brakes first before taking the car in for maintenance. Back in my room, I immediately locked the door. I haven't been sharing a room with Aaron these past few days, using the excuse that I'm afraid he might roll onto my wound while sleeping. In truth, I'm terrified I won't be able to resist stabbing him with a knife. Committing a crime for a scumbag like him isn't worth it. I want to live well with my biological daughter. I can't have any blood on my hands. Sitting on the edge of the bed, I eagerly put on my headphones. I had secretly planted listening devices in many corners of the house. Right now, the headphones carry their voices, deliberately hushed. Aaron, what's wrong with you? That wretched girl is still alive. Are you reluctant to see her die? I'm not. That wretched girl is nowhere near as adorable as our Fiona. Besides, Fiona takes after me, while that wretched girl looks exactly like Evelyn. Just seeing her makes me sick. I always thought she'd been tortured to death long ago. Mom, Dad, we absolutely can't let her come back to this family. If that damned woman finds out I'm not her biological child, her fortune will have nothing to do with me. I won't accept it, I won't. Fiona, keep your voice down. Stop making a scene. Mom and Dad are trying to figure out a way to absolutely prevent Evelyn and that wretched girl from meeting. Mom, Dad, what are you planning to do? Only the dead disappear forever. I won't let her affect Fiona's inheritance rights. Hearing Aaron's words, I was utterly horrified, a wave of nausea washing over me. His heart was vicious enough, selling his own daughter wasn't sufficient, and now he actually wants to kill his own flesh and blood. What a heartless monster. Putting down the headphones, the hatred in my heart grew deeper. That heartless, ungrateful family of 3, I will never let them off. I called the private investigator and told him to hire someone to protect my daughter at all costs. After handling the matter, I opened my computer to work when suddenly there was a knock at the door. Mom, can I come in? Although puzzled about why she was here, I still went to open the door. Mom, the nanny has finished brewing the medicine. Please drink it while it's still warm. What a surprise, actually sending me medicine. But since it wasn't delivered by the nanny herself, I wouldn't dare drink it. Just leave it there, I'll drink it after I finish handling these documents. Mom, drinking it while it's hot will help your wounds heal faster. The more she urged me, the more suspicious I became about what was in that bowl. How about this, come back in 10 minutes to collect the bowl. Okay. After Fiona left, I immediately poured half of the medicine from the bowl into a small bottle, planning to take it for testing tomorrow. 10 minutes later, Fiona came to collect the bowl. Seeing the residue of the medicine at the corner of my mouth, she smiled contentedly. Mom, don't overwork yourself. Rest early. My Fiona is so sweet, already knows how to care for Mom. Mom is so happy. I had no choice but to continue with these insincere words. You too, finish your homework and go to bed early. Okay, Mom. She held the bowl, took 2 steps forward, then suddenly turned her head and said to me, Mom, if I rank in the top 3 of the class this time, can you give me a reward? Of course, what reward would you like? I want our whole family and Auntie Sherry to go on a cruise together. Of course, as long as our Fiona is happy, Mom is willing to do anything for you. Thank you, Mom. Watching her leave cheerfully, I knew this family of 3 had already planned how to harm me for the second time. For several days in a row, Fiona came to give me medicine to drink. I pretended to drink it all, but in reality, I poured it all down the toilet. Wendy had already sent me the composition report of the medicine. It was an antidepressant, but if taken by a normal person, it would cause mental confusion. To play along with their plan, I pretended to be scatterbrained these past few days. Where's the remote? Where did the remote go? Mom, the remote is right in your own hand. Oh dear, look at my forgetful brain. I laughed at myself and switched to the news channel. The news was reporting a social incident where two men had secretly broken into an orphanage to steal children. Fortunately, the director reported it to the police in time, and the children weren't taken. The camera showed a frontal shot of the human trafficker, as well as a front view of the poor child. I feigned surprise. Oh my, how could it be her? Honey, didn't you tell me this child had already been taken away by her biological parents? Why is she in the orphanage? I looked at the family of three staring at the screen, their shocked expressions frozen in place for quite some time. Those two human traffickers, one was Aaron's uncle, the other was Sherry's own younger brother. Their identities were revealed to me by a private investigator, who also told me these two had stolen my daughter, planning to kill her somewhere and make her disappear forever, so Fiona would remain my sole heir. If I hadn't overheard their plan with a bug, my own daughter would surely have met with misfortune. Honey, I'm talking to you. I raised my voice. Huh? Oh. Aaron finally snapped out of his thoughts. Darling, I'm just as shocked. When I went to the police station to inquire about that little girl, that's exactly what the officers told me. I don't know where things went wrong. I even specifically asked the police to relay that if they have any difficulties in life, they can contact us. We'll definitely help them solve any problems. I pretended to sigh and said, this child is truly pitiful. I really want to adopt her. What do you think, honey? I think. Aaron couldn't answer immediately. He gave Fiona a meaningful look, and Fiona immediately threw herself into my arms, changing the subject. Mom, I have some good news to share with you. Oh? What's the good news? I got first place in this exam. Really? My Fiona is so amazing, Mommy is so proud of you. I hugged her tightly with feigned joy, continuing to play along with her act. That first place? All fake. Wendy had investigated, Aaron had bribed the teacher with money, and the teacher had given her the exam papers in advance. Mom, you have to keep your promise. The day after tomorrow, we're taking a cruise out to sea. The day after tomorrow? But you have school that day. But Mom, you promised me. Fiona looked at me with a pout. Evelyn, as parents, we should keep our word, Aaron said to me. Our daughter is so smart, missing one day of school won't hurt. Yes, Evelyn, just agree with Fiona. Fiona's happiness is what matters most, isn't it? I nodded along with their words, that's true. Let's set sail on the cruise ship the day after tomorrow, then. After we return, we'll go formally adopt that girl. What do you say, dear? Of course, that's fine. His forced smile was truly ugly. Keep watching TV, I'm going to call Wendy and have her rearrange the itinerary for the day after tomorrow. I hurried upstairs to my room and put on my headphones, where I indeed heard the furious voices of the three of them. Mom, Dad, how could you let this happen? Why is that damned girl still alive? Fiona, keep your voice down. If that bitch hears us, we're all finished. Aaron, say something. Didn't you say your uncle was the orphanage chef and stealing a kid would be easy? How did this happen, dragging my brother into it too? I want to know what happened too. My uncle literally texted me saying the job was done when they took the kid out. What do we do now? Will the police trace this back to us? Don't panic. I've already thought of a way. I'll go see them at the police station later, tell them to keep their mouths shut about what shouldn't be said. At most, they'll get 3 or 4 years for attempted child abduction. When they're out, we'll give each of them a big sum of money. The most important thing now is to get Evelyn killed. Right, as long as that bitch dies soon, we can get all her property early. The cruise trip will be her death sentence. I put down the earphones and smirked, muttering to myself, oh really? Who will die is not for you to decide. That day, early in the morning, the family of 3 urged me to get up quickly and board the ship to set sail. The weather was really nice today, perfect for going out to sea. Aaron drove my private yacht to the middle of a certain sea area. The evening glow lingered, and all around was the ocean, truly a beautiful sight. But often, beautiful places come with great danger. Mom, Sherry Mom has already prepared dinner. Alright, let's go have dinner. We can't let my precious daughter go hungry. Entering the cabin, I saw 8 or 9 dishes on the dining table, all my favorites. She really went out of her way to prepare them. Darling, have some juice to whet your appetite first. Aaron, as thoughtful as ever, placed a glass of fresh juice in front of me. I gulped down the juice heartily in front of their family of 3. Then, both Fiona and Sherry kept serving me vegetables and meat, which I finished without hesitation. I must say, Sherry's cooking skills are exceptional. Every dish was incredibly delicious. It's truly a pity she doesn't open a restaurant. Don't just focus on me, you should eat too. None of the 3 moved, just smiling at me. Evelyn, all this was prepared for you. Eat more, otherwise you won't get another chance. I laughed. Sherry, what do you mean by that? Don't tell me you found another foreign boyfriend and are moving abroad permanently? Sherry smiled. I do have a partner now, but no need to go abroad. As long as his nominal wife dies, that'll be enough. How could you be the other woman, Sherry? I feigned disappointment. I'm not the other woman. We've been together for a long time. Sherry, you're being foolish. Even if you've been together for a long time, morally you're still the other woman, someone everyone condemns, forced to hide in the shadows. Even if you have a child, it would be illegitimate, like a dead rat in the gutter. I deliberately provoked her. Her face twisted in anger as she threw my favorite cola chicken wings onto the floor in a rage. My child is not a bastard nor a dead rat, she is the most dazzling princess. Sherry, don't be angry with her. Soon she won't have the strength to curse anymore. Aaron wrapped his arm around her waist to comfort her. I stared at them wide-eyed. You two, adulterous couple. My head feels dizzy. Did you drug me? My vision swam, and though I tried to stand up, I couldn't muster any strength at all. Sherry indeed calmed down and smiled at me again. Evelyn, you foolish pig, never imagined it, did you? The one Aaron truly loves is me. Fiona is my biological daughter. Thank you for your years of affection toward my daughter. From now on, your care is no longer needed. My daughter will be taken care of by her own biological mother. Impossible, impossible. Fiona is my daughter, I carried her for 10 months. How could she not be my daughter? Ha ha ha. The despicable couple burst into laughter. Fiona, come to mommy. I beckoned to Fiona, but she rolled her eyes at me, ran to Sherry, and hugged her. You bitch, she's my real mom. Just drop dead already. Calling you mom makes me sick to my stomach every time. You. I gasped, my body racked with pain. You despicable pair, what have you done to my daughter? Aaron, she's dying anyway. Let's be merciful and tell her the truth. Aaron spoke up. Evelyn, haven't you always wanted to adopt that girl from the orphanage? I'm telling you, she's your biological daughter. What? She's my biological daughter? Thinking about how my daughter was born in the mountains and abused for so many years, I wish I could slaughter this disgusting family of 3 right now. I glared angrily at Sherry. So you never actually went abroad, did you? You've been staying in the country the whole time to have your baby. Yeah, and only now are you figuring it out? Too late. Sherry laughed triumphantly. Why? I roared at Aaron, she's your biological daughter too. Why did you switch my baby and sell her to some remote mountain village? Aaron simply said, the only daughter I acknowledge is Fiona. You. Aaron, how heartless you are. I wanted to tear him apart, but I had no strength left. So, it was you who sent people to the orphanage to steal my daughter, because you were afraid that our mother-daughter reunion would expose the vicious true nature of your family of three. Yes, that's right. I asked my uncle and Sherry's brother to steal that damned girl. It's a pity they failed to take her out, letting her live a few more days. Evelyn, rest assured. After your death, Sherry and I will fulfill your dying wish for you. What do you mean? I didn't understand. Sherry looked at me as if I were an idiot and, taking over from Aaron, said to me, after your death, Fiona will inherit all your assets. As Fiona's parents, Aaron and I will manage all your property for her. At the same time, we'll adopt your daughter from the orphanage and give her a prosperous life. A prosperous life? I didn't believe it. You shameless couple, what exactly are you trying to do to my daughter? We told you, give her a prosperous life and send her abroad for a good education. Guess where we're planning to send her? Sherry kept it a mystery, but I knew for sure it wouldn't be anywhere good. We're planning to send her to a deserted island and let her fend for herself. You, heartless bastards. You'll get what's coming to you. I curse all three of you to die horrible deaths. You're the one who'll die horribly. Aaron kicked me to the ground, while Sherry and Fiona rushed over to kick me several more times. Alright, this bitch can't move anymore. Let's toss her into the sea for the sharks. So this was your purpose for sailing out. Now you figure it out? Too late. Aaron and Fiona tied me up and carried me toward the deck. You're committing murder. The police won't let you get away with this. Yet hearing my words, they only laughed more heartily. When the time comes, we'll say you had a depressive episode, accidentally fell into the sea, got eaten by sharks, not even a body left to find. What evidence could the police possibly uncover? I don't have depression, I retorted. True, you didn't before. But you developed severe depression later, needing medication every night. Could it be? I looked at Fiona. Exactly. The medicine Fiona brought you at night were all antidepressants. There are still leftover dregs of the medicine at home, which is enough proof that you had depression. You committed suicide, it has nothing to do with us. Aaron continued, Evelyn, we were once husband and wife. Don't worry, I'll definitely give you a grand funeral. Evelyn, just die. The two of them worked together to throw me into the sea, and only after watching my body sink to the bottom did they smile and return to the cabin. Unfortunately, they didn't know the rescue team in the water had been waiting for me for a long time. Having disposed of this damned person, the family of three sat down to a fresh table of dishes, uncorking champagne to celebrate their long-awaited triumph. Sherry, my wife, I can finally call you that openly now. Honey, I'm so happy today. Mom, Dad, our family of three is finally reunited. It's so great that the bitch is dead, everything she had now belongs to us. That's right, the company, the luxury cars, the mansion, and even this yacht, they're all ours now. The trio hugged each other, overwhelmed with joy. I almost felt guilty about shattering their beautiful dreams so soon. But the moment I remembered how my daughter suffered inhuman torment because of their wicked deeds, I couldn't wait to skin them alive. You three are celebrating a bit too soon, aren't you? Seeing me approach, the family of three froze instantly. You. Ghost. Fiona screamed, hiding behind Aaron's back. Evelyn, are you human or ghost? Sherry's voice trembled. Of course I'm human. How could I die so easily and let you adulterous couple and your illegitimate child take over my property and bully my daughter? I'm calling the police to send your whole family to prison, where you'll never come out. Sherry, don't panic. Since killing her once didn't work, we'll just kill her a second time, make sure she's thoroughly dead this time. Aaron was charging at me with a fruit knife, his face twisted with malice. Just as the sharp tip of the blade was about to pierce my neck, two people suddenly appeared behind me and subdued Aaron in an instant. The fruit knife fell to the ground and was kicked far away. Aaron, you are suspected of child trafficking, attempted murder, and malicious embezzlement of others' property. Please come with us. Yes, the ones who subdued Aaron were the police. I had already called them earlier, the police and I had been coordinating all along. Yesterday, I had secretly arranged for hidden cameras to be installed on the cruise ship, and today I've been carrying a mini voice recorder with me. Every vile act committed by that family of three has been clearly recorded, they can't possibly deny it now. Aaron's hands were cuffed, and soon after, 2 more officers entered. They handcuffed Sherry as well, repeating the same words. Sherry, you're suspected of child trafficking, premeditated murder, and malicious embezzlement of others' property. Please come with us. No, no. I didn't kill anyone. Evelyn isn't dead. I didn't murder anyone, I didn't. This was all Aaron's idea, it has nothing to do with me. Sherry, you. Aaron widened his eyes at Sherry, who was trying to distance herself from him, looking utterly devastated. You bitch, I did all this for you. Evelyn, save me, I love you. It was Sherry who seduced me, the slut. I rolled my eyes. Get lost. Watching this pair of lovebirds who were inseparable just a second ago now tearing into each other like dogs is utterly satisfying. They tried to sling mud at each other, but the police quickly hauled them away. At that moment, Fiona, who wasn't handcuffed but still needed to be escorted by the police, broke free from the female officer's grip and rushed toward me. She hugged me, sobbing, Mom, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. It was all Sherry, that bitch, who forced me to treat you like this. I'm your only daughter, and you're my only mom, my real mom. You'll forgive me, won't you? I scoffed coldly. What do you think, Fiona? After the disgusting family of 3 was detained, I couldn't wait to go to the orphanage to bring my daughter back. At the orphanage, I saw her hiding alone in a corner, nibbling on dry bread. The time she was stolen left deep psychological scars, making her extremely wary of strangers. As I approached her, she shrank back. My heart felt as if it was being ruthlessly scraped by a sharp knife, the pain so intense I could hardly breathe. Sweetheart, don't be afraid. I'm your mother, and I've come to take you home. Mommy? She looked at me with such confusion in her eyes, cautiously asking, Auntie, are you here to adopt me? Will I get to eat every day from now on? I don't eat much. I'll be very good, and I can do lots and lots of work. I just beg you not to hit me, okay? My daughter's words made tears gush from my eyes as I held her tightly, crying until I could barely breathe. My baby, my precious daughter, you're my biological child. It's Mommy's fault, Mommy lost you, Mommy didn't protect you well enough. Mommy is so sorry. Mom? Are you really my mom? Yes, I am your mom, my precious daughter. Mom will never let you suffer again. Mom will give you all the best things in the world. Mom, Mom. She threw her arms around my neck and sobbed uncontrollably. Why did it take you so long to come? Why did it take you so long? I'm sorry, my baby. Mom came too late. I provided hidden cameras from my home and the cruise ship, as well as all the conversations of their family of 3 from the wiretaps. Aaron and Sherry engaged in child trafficking and premeditated murder, maliciously transferred part of my assets, with conclusive evidence. I spent a fortune hiring a legal team to fight the case, ensuring that this despicable couple was sentenced to death. Everyone involved in swapping my daughter back then, as well as those who later stole my daughter from the orphan, including Aaron's mother, uncle, and Sherry's younger brother, were all sentenced to prison terms ranging from 7 years. Although Fiona was also an accomplice, she is still a minor and will not face legal punishment. She is an illegitimate child and participated in the murder of her adoptive mother, which is enough for the world to despise her and for her classmates to shun her. I have already severed our mother-daughter relationship, kicked her out of the house, and forbidden her from taking anything I gave her. She cried and begged for my forgiveness at my doorstep, saying I am the only mother she loves. Huh? Who would believe that? She's just afraid of losing the affluent life I provided. Fiona, you're calling the wrong person. I only have one daughter, and that is Jane. Go with your grandmother. I won't go, I don't know her. You're my real mom, I beg you to open the door and let me in. This is my home, Mom, please, I'm begging you. Beg me? When she called me a bitch and a dead hag, she certainly enjoyed cursing at me. Damn girl, come with me right now. Her biological grandmother hit and scolded her, dragging and pulling to take her away. She didn't want to raise Fiona out of love, she had no affection whatsoever for her own granddaughter. She resented Sherry for putting her son in prison and had nowhere to vent her anger. Fiona was the perfect punching bag. Take Fiona back home, she plans to sell her off in a couple of years for a hefty bride price, saving up for her son's future wedding after he gets out of prison. The day before Aaron and Sherry were to be executed, they both insisted on seeing me. I didn't want to go, but in the end, I chose to meet Sherry. On the way there, I recalled many things from the past. Sherry and I were college classmates, even roommates in the same dorm. Back then, Sherry was dark-skinned, unfashionably rustic, and dirt poor, bullied relentlessly both in class and in the dorm, with no one willing to befriend her. I was the only one willing to be her friend and fund her 4 years of college tuition. I treated her as a true friend, buying her matching outfits and handbags whenever I got something nice. She always said meeting me was the greatest luck of her life, swearing she'd never betray me no matter what happened in the future, even vowing to serve me like an ox or horse in her next life. How foolish I was, I couldn't see then that her gaze held not gratitude, but resentment. She hated everything I possessed. Given the slightest chance, she'd turn back with all her might to tear into me, to destroy me. And that chance truly came. During my sophomore year, my parents died unexpectedly, and I was so grief-stricken that I was in a daze. I almost got into a car accident while crossing the street, but Aaron pulled me to safety just in time. That's how my relationship with Aaron began. From then on, he always appeared when I needed help the most, solving my problems for me. Sherry said that he and I were destined to be together, and she often praised Aaron in front of me. I already had feelings for Aaron, and with her constant praise, I became even more convinced that we were meant to be. Later, it was only natural that we fell in love and got married. He was always so good to me, so good that I wished to marry him again in my next life. I hired a private investigator and discovered this was an elaborate scam specifically designed to deceive me. Aaron and Sherry attended the same middle school and had been together since then. If not for Aaron being a poor student who couldn't afford a house, Sherry's mother wouldn't have forced them apart. Seeing how naive and gullible I was, Sherry had Aaron deliberately approach me and stage a classic hero saving the beauty scenario. After Sherry meticulously listed all my strengths, weaknesses, and various hobbies to craft the perfect plan, Aaron always knew exactly how to please me, showering me with such thoughtful attention that I defied my uncle's objections to marry him. What an exquisitely orchestrated scam it was. My best friend who swore she'd never betray me and my husband who vowed to love me forever, both desperately tried to kill me for my fortune. If I hadn't slipped in the garage and glimpsed the future, they would have gotten exactly what they wanted. In prison, I finally saw Sherry. She looked 20 years older. Evelyn, you've come at last. I glanced at her. If you have something to say it quickly. I beg you, please take care of my daughter. I don't ask you to care for her for a lifetime, just raise her until she's 18, help her find a good job, and give her a house. I gave a cold laugh. Why should I? She froze, and I added, I'm no relation to her. Why do you think I must take care of her? Evelyn, Fiona has called you mom for so many years, how can you say she's unrelated? After all these years of mother-daughter bond, you can't abandon her. Ha ha ha, what a laughable mother-daughter bond. She calls me a damn hag and wishes I'd die sooner. She stole my biological daughter's identity and took over the life my daughter should have had. She was your accomplice in harming me. How do you expect me to just forget the past and take care of her? What are you planning to do to my daughter? You can't, Fiona is still a child. Sherry was frantic, terrified that her daughter might have an accident. What about me? My daughter suffered abuse in the mountains. Can she understand my daughter's pain, my pain? Don't worry, I'm not like you shameless scoundrels, I wouldn't lay a hand on a child. I'm only making it clear to the public that we're not biologically related, and she's not allowed to take anything from my house when she leaves. All my property in the future will belong solely to my daughter. My villa isn't a place for just any stray cat or dog to live. You. Don't worry, I'm quite compassionate. I've already informed your mother to come take Fiona away. That day, Fiona cried so loudly. I imagine she must have been deeply moved that her grandmother came to take her away. Ah. Evelyn, you bitch, you did this on purpose, you did this on purpose. Sherry broke down in tears because she knew exactly what kind of person her biological mother was. Fiona would definitely suffer in her mother's hands. What if I did do it on purpose? I chuckled softly, which only made Sherry crumble further. She tried to lunge at me but was firmly restrained by the prison guards. All she could do was scream and cry. After being released from prison, I went to the supermarket to buy groceries to cook for my daughter Jane. Truth be told, I'm no chef, but when I cooked for her for the first time, she said my food was delicious. I covered my mouth as tears streamed down my face. I knew it wasn't that my cooking was actually good, it was because she'd been eating so poorly before. I fell in love with cooking, determined to make the most delicious meals for my daughter. 10 years later, my daughter became an intern reporter at a news station. This was her first on-camera report, and I watched her broadcast with immense pride. These are the women and children who were rescued with tremendous effort by the police after being trafficked. They were abused by local men, forced to bear children, until they could no longer. The camera pans to one of the victims. Though she was disheveled, with dark and sagging skin, her eyes vacant and mindless, constantly grinning foolishly, I recognized her at once. She was Fiona, the one I had driven out years ago. I never imagined she would end up like this. But I don't regret throwing her out back then, nor do I pity her misfortune. If I hadn't seen the future, the one in the vision, barely human, almost ghostly, would have been my own daughter.